Okay, now we will discuss about how to price a bond that pay that in between the coupon payment date. Okay, as I already mentioned that the coupon, okay, must be shared between the buyer, the new buyer, and the existing bondholder. Okay, it depends on how long since the last coupon payment until the settlement date. Okay, the settlement date basically, new buyer pay the money for the seller. The seller just transfer the bond to the new buyer. So since the last coupon payment until the settlement date, that portion of the time, okay, the coupon would be paid to the existing bondholder. Okay, so that's why when the new buyer pay, they have to pay the price of the bond plus this portion of the money of the coupon to the seller, and the combination of this we call the full price of the bond. Okay, the full price of the bond is decomposed into the flat price plus the accrued interest. In the first bullet, it's mentioned about the accrued interest, that the accrued interest is a portion, okay, of the coupon that will be paid in the next period, but because of the seller has held the bond for some certain period, so part of the money of the coupon must be paid to the seller. Okay, because the new buyer, the buyer or the new buyer, they will get the coupon payment in the next period, right? So that's why in order to share this coupon, so depends on how long the seller has held the bond. Okay, why here is a proportion of the time. Okay, why is a proportion of the time? Since the last coupon payment until the settlement date divided by the number of days between the last coupon payment and the next coupon payment. Okay, I'll show you this again next slide. And in the bond market, as I mentioned, when you submit buy and sell order in the bond market, you are submit the flat price, or we call the quoted price here. Okay, you don't submit the full price. Okay, suppose you quote the price of the bond equal to 110, so you are submitting the flat price. For the AI, you can calculate later, and then eventually the total dollar that you have to pay will be equal to the full price. Okay, the total dollar that the buyer must pay equal to the full price. Okay, the full price sometimes we also call dirty price, invoice price too. Okay, full price or dirty price is the price that combine the quoted price or the flat price plus the accrued interest. Okay, I'll come back to this again for some 1 or 2 more issues. Let me talk about how to price a bond first. Suppose, okay, you buy the bond at this time. This is the last coupon payment. Maybe let me just use the period, the exact date. Suppose this is 15 November 2017, and the next coupon, suppose they pay every 6 months, so it will be on 15 May 2018. You price the bond here. and then the next coupon will be 15 November 2018, and so on until the maturity date. So this is the first coupon payment, second coupon payment until the end plus the face value. Okay, 15 November 2017 is the last coupon payment. Next coupon payment is the next 6 months from November this year. So it will be on 15th of May 2018, right? 2018. So why? Okay, why in the previous slide? Let me just talk V first in this equation. We are value the bond, okay, at time 0. You see that in the next, until the maturity, there will be end period or end coupon payment. But at time 0, you see that first period is not equal to other period, right? From time 0 to C1, the first coupon payment, the period is not the same as other period. It's shorter, right? It's shorter. That's why if you look at this equation, the full price of the bond, it will be the summation of the present value of the coupon. C or PMT is just the same, okay? Because we use two books. In one text they use C as the coupon, or some texts also use PMT. The other text use PMT. CFA textbook they use PMT as a coupon. Fabosi he use the coupon C. So the last term M or FV just same, not the multiplication between M and FV. Okay, it's just one variable. It can be FV or M. So in this equation you can see that it's just the summation of the present value of the coupon, okay, for the first term. And you can see that for the first present value of the first coupon payment, it's just equal to C dy by 1 plus RV, 1 plus RV, right? When n equal to 1 or t, right? When t equal to 1 until n period. So when t equal to 1, so this term is equal to 0, so this term become to 1. So the first coupon payment is equal to C or PMT divided by 1 plus RV. So what is V? V is proportion of the time for the first coupon payment, which is equal to number of days between the settlement date until the next coupon payment date. So V is the proportion of this period divided by this period. Okay. For the second coupon payment, it will be when t equal to 2. So you plug in t equal to 2, you have the second coupon payment as C2 divided by 1 plus RV multiplied by 1 plus R1, right? And so on. Anyway, by using this equation, is maybe hard either to solve for pricing to solve for the full price of the bond. You can alternatively write this equation like this, okay? Instead of using 1 plus RV, we use 1 plus R over 1 minus Y, 1 minus Y. Okay? At time 0, same. Okay, the point that we value this bond is still the same at time 0. However, PMT or the coupon will be divided by 1 plus R over 1 minus Y. And Y is just the number of days between the last coupon payment until the settlement date, divided by the proportion of, divided by number of days between the last and the next coupon payment. So Y is just equal to this, number of days between last coupon payment till settlement date, divided by the total number of days between the coupon payment. Okay? suppose I use this is 1, this is 2, y will be 1 over 2, right? Okay. So you have this equation. First coupon payment divided by 1 plus r over 1 minus y. Okay. Because the total period is 1, and then you deduct the first part, so it's equal to v. 1 minus y equal to v, right? 1 minus y is equal to v. And PMT over 1 plus r2 minus y, right? And so on until the last coupon payment. And then we decompose, okay, the 1 plus r, 1 minus y, basically we just take 1 over 1 plus r over minus y out. You take this out, 1 plus r minus y. So this will be, okay? You take 1 plus r over minus y, the power of minus y. So in the bracket you have 1 plus r1, 1 plus r2, 1 plus r3 until 1 plus rn. So this is similar to, it's something like you price the bond at time at 15th of November 2017. So in the bracket here, it's like you price the bond at time at 15th November 2017. Okay, in the bracket. It's just like you at this point, 15 November. However, we want to know the price at time 0. So you just use this, it's reciprocal. It's reciprocal. You just change this to be the reciprocal. Multiply by this is reciprocal is 1 plus r y. So basically you just compound, okay, from at time 15 November to time 0 by just multiply by 1 plus r y. Okay. Sorry? X is multiplication, sorry. Okay, so this is a full price. We get the full price first. This is something quite complicated. That why we have to do this? Why we have to come up with the full price first? But we submit the flat price. We not submit the full price. After we get this, okay. One thing that I should warn you. Sometimes some students get confused between this formula in the bracket and this formula. Some students misunderstood that this question is for the flat price. No, not at all. This is not a flat price. You have to come up with the flat price. You need to know the full price like this first, and then you just subtract the accrued interest. You can estimate the accrued interest, right? You know the accrued interest, you know the full price, you can estimate the flat price. And the flat price is just, the AI is just equal to y that we just discussed in the next slide, multiplied by PMT. Now, let's talk about why don't we just submit the full price, why we must do things, hard. Why don't we just submit the full price? Then we don't need to combine or add on the cost of accrued interest. One explanation, if you have opportunity to read, and I think it's quite convincing, is that let's imagine, suppose you submit the full price today, and then next day you also submit the full price. Given that today and tomorrow actually the market interest rate unchanged. The market interest rate unchanged. So basically you have to submit the price the same as, tomorrow and today would be the same, right? If you submit a full price, it will be not the same because of this term, right? Suppose that the market interest rate is unchanged, but you suppose the market use a full price as a quotation price or quoted price. Then every day, investor will see or observe the price increase every day because of this term increase every day, right? Since the last coupon payment, this term will be increase. And this may mislead the trend of the market interest rate, okay? Because of this term. Even though market interest rate may unchanged, however, because of that AI increase every day, right? Since the last coupon payment. That's why, okay, we have to submit the clean price or the quoted price or the flat price to make sure that, okay, we submit things or price that reflect the market interest rate. And then AI will be later to add on. Okay. Now let's have a look at the example. One more complication when we deal with this is day count convention. Different countries also use maybe different day count convention when you estimate the day, okay, from last coupon payment until the settlement date or from settlement date to the next coupon date. As I mentioned last week, right, normally in the market there will be about 3-4 day count convention, and that will affect the AI accrued interest. Okay, look at this example first. Suppose in this example, okay, 5% coupon rate. Don't forget that this is per year. Sometimes, students get confused. This is 5% per semi-annual or not? No, this is 5% per year. But they pay, but the bond pay every 6 months. So every 6 months, the bond will pay 2.5 coupon, and plus the face value in this case. Suppose we use the quotation price, the quoted price 100% of the percentage of the par value, and the bond will mature on 15 February 2024. The settlement date is on 14 of May 2015. You may submit the quoted price maybe 2 or 3 days before that, but this is the day that will be effective, okay? Or transfer the money and transfer the bond to the buyer. And Y, which is the proportion of the time, equal to 88 days over 181 days. How to get this? The count convention in this example is assumed to be actual. So 88 days come from you count, okay, number of days, actual number of days from last coupon payment, which is 15 February 2015. From 15 of February until 15 Feb 2015 until 14 of May 2015. That will be 88 days. And then from February 2015 until 15 of August 2015, next coupon payment, that will be 181 days, actual number of days. Okay? So you have to count number of period or number of coupon payment from 14 of May 2015, okay, until 2024. Now how many coupon payment are there, right? So you can count, right? That will be 18 payment period. Okay. So in this case, suppose that we price the bond as if we were at 15 of February 2015. Okay, the price will be equal to this one. this is the bond price at 15 February 2015. However, we want to get the price at 14 of May 2015, so we have to multiply this. This x is multiplication, okay? Multiply by 1 plus the yield per 6 months, which is, this is per year, right? Per annum, 4.s divided by 2.4%. So, by multiply this term, okay? Just like this equation. By multiply this term, you get the price at 14 of May, right? 14 of May. So this is applied as 14 of May. Okay? And then you can estimate AI, right? Accrued interest is equal to 2.5 multiplied by AI is equal to 88 days over 181 multiplied by 2.5. Okay, so you know AI, you can estimate the flat price or the clean price. Alright. Before we move on, I have one more question about the day count convention. I don't have choices for you. Just submit the exact day that you think. Suppose in that equation is the same example, but if I change from actual to be 30 to 360 day count convention, how many days between last coupon payment and the settlement date? Last coupon payment is 15 of February 2015 until the settlement date is 14 of May, okay, 2015.
แล้วปฏิแปดไม่ใช่อะไรไม่ปฏิแปดมาจากนี้มาเพิ่มถึง14เองแต่แปดเด็กเนี่ยกำลังขายอยู่หมดอันนี้มัน6 เดือนนะ63อีกคนก็บวกลบมันก็ประมาณนี้แล้วทำไมอันนี้88มันมาได้ยังตักข้อต่างเนี่ยมันก็4 เดือน4 เดือน2ถ้าเป็น3 4 5 10 3 เดือน2 เดือนถึงเมย์โอเคนี่แหละแต่ไอ้ล็อกกระเป๋าถูกพับนะเดือน2 เดือน8 6 เดือนตุลา15 ออกัส188ได้รับไปเด็ดไม่มีถ้าถอยมองอย่างนึงก็คือ39ถึงด้วย
I give you 1 more minute.
โอ้ที่เราสวยเด็กเลยข้างล่างเราคิดข้างบนเราไม่รู้นี่ไงแต่เขาทำนัมเบอร์เตนะจ๊ะใช่นี่ไงเพราะว่ามัน30ครับมันเป็นเดย์เต็ม30กับ3 ปีอันนี้มันไม่ถึงปีไม่ถึง ก็180ข้างบนก็คืออันนี้ก็คือ2 ถึง 5 3 4 5 ลบ 1 ก็ 29เขียน1ก็ตอบ29เลยนะ80โมงเวลา20 วิพิมพ์ไปเลยพิมพ์แต่ว่ามันเข้าไม่ได้จะพิมพ์ไปนี่ไปแล้ว76073แป๊บเข้าไงวะนะลุง
โอเคเดี๋ยวสับลุก
บทพยายามยังทันเว้ยไม่มีบทปิดแล้วกันนี่ไงอะไรวะ
จุกไว้ในซัมเมอร์
จุกบุกลุงฝึกขาไปเลย
Let me check
ใครเลือกพิมพ์วะจุก
There is only one answer that is correct but I don't know why there are 26 right answer but it is the number that shown in this is I think less than 26 right do you think which one is correct your number no I don't think the correct answer is 89 how to calculate number of days for this one
6 เดือนลบ 1 6 เดือนลบ 1
You have to count from 15 of February to next month at 15 of March as a 1 month. Okay? So it will be 30 days for the first month from 15 of February to 15 of March. And then from 15 of March to 15 of April is also another 30 days. February to March, March to April. And then you count number of days for the rest. So it will be from 15 of April, 15 days plus 29 days, right? Right? This is from 15 April to 15 of March and so on. Okay. So in the exam or in the quiz, because it's sometimes it's quite complicated to count this day count convention. So I will provide the number of days. Okay, I will provide you the number of days for number of days in between the coupon payment, number of days from the last coupon payment to the settlement day. Okay. In the financial calculator, you can solve this question. Okay. However, make sure that you understand how to put the number. Consult the manual if you want to use this. Okay, go to for the Texas instrument. Just go to this. Okay, bond. Just press the second and bond. Okay, you have to put the the format correctly about the date. This is the settlement date, right? And then you have to put the coupon, the redemption rate, redemption value. Okay, and this is the way how to calculate. Other assumption about the account convention too. To make sure that you understand how to put the value into each variable. Okay, so we have discussed the first issue. Bond price can be estimated in between the coupon payment. The second one, okay, I already mentioned, right? So in case of the callable bond, puttable bond, we'll discuss about that in the next the following lecture. For the appropriate required rate, okay, so this is also one thing that might have some complication. Okay. Anyway, we'll talk about it first for this lecture. As I mentioned that normally when you price the bond, you have the one single discount rate applied for all cash flow. Just the previous example, you can see that we use the discount rate 2.4% applied for all cash flow that occur in period 1, period 2, and so on. However, ideally, actually, we should use different discount rate for different cash flow. Okay. And what are these discount rate? Okay, before we go to that, the spot rate valuation, let's talk about it first. Some cases when you obtain the bond price data from the Bloomberg or from the Reuters, you must be aware that the bond price that you obtain from Bloomberg or Reuters, they are the actual bond price. Sometimes the bond price that you obtain, they are called matrix. Okay, matrix. The matrix bond price. What is the matrix bond price? These bond price actually are estimated by other bond price. Okay, because some bond may not trade frequently. As you may know, like Thailand right now, okay, the fixed income fund manager, the financial institution, when they buy the bond, they just buy and hold in the portfolio. And they may not sell later, they just buy it and hold until maturity. So sometimes it's hard to know the market movement of the bond price for some certain issue. So how we can come up with the indicative price of this bond? We can use the approach that called matrix pricing to come up with the matrix bond price. The idea is quite straightforward. We obtain the data of other bonds that have similar characteristics like the same maturity, same coupon rate, or same credit quality. Okay. Based on other bonds that we can obtain the data, okay, and then we try to come up with the indicative price or indicative yield for some certain bond. In this case, suppose we can obtain the market price, market yield of 2 years bond, okay, for 3 and 5% coupon rate. And then for 5 years, we also can obtain the 2% coupon and 4% like this. What we want to estimate is 3 years bond. This one. Given that you know this bond, 2 years bond with different coupon rate and 5-year bond, different coupon rate. How can you come up with the indicative yield or indicative price of this bond? Very simple. You just take the average. The first one, we take the average of the 2-year bond that have different coupon rate. Okay, the first one has the yield 3.786% and the other one has the yield equal to 3.821%. So we take the simple average to get the representative yield for 2-year bond. And do the same for 5-year bond. Okay, this is the yield for 5-year bond with different coupon rate. 4.18 and 4.196. So we just simple average of 2 yield to come up with the representative of the yield for 5 years. So this is the yield for 2 years. This is the yield for 5 years. You want to know the yield for 3 years. So we just do the linear interpolation. Okay, linear interpolation. Start from 2-year yield. Okay, this is the 2-year yield. And we want to know 3 years, so we want 1 more year. Okay. You know that the yield difference between 2 and 5 is 3 years difference of the maturity. So the difference here, 5-year yield and the 2-year yield. This is a yield difference of the 3-year difference of the maturity. So we take the interpolation here. You want to know the 1 year extra yield, in between these 3 year difference. So it's 1 over 3. Okay, 1 year over 3 year difference of this yield. So you come up with the yield. That will be the representative of the bond X. Okay. This is called the matrix bond price or matrix yield. The yield that originated by or estimated by the matrix pricing. Term structure. We'll talk about term structure again in the near future. But in this step, what you need to know is the term structure means the relationship between the interest rate in different maturity. Right? There might be some different shape, upward sloping, downward sloping, or hump shape. Why the shape can change, we'll talk about that later. Sometimes, okay, instead of using the term structure, this word, we may use the term yield curve instead. These two words can be used interchangeably. Okay, yield curve or term structure of interest rate. There might be some difference between these two. Yield curve may represent the graph between the yield and the different maturity at all. But for the term structure, maybe we just representing just a number in the different maturity, yield in the different maturity in the table. Okay, 1 year maturity, the yield is equal to this number. 2 years equal to this number like this. In order to obtain the yield curve, okay, we normally will start from the most liquid fixed income security, the treasury one. And ideally, to obtain or construct the yield curve, we may construct the yield curve of treasury bond from the zero government bond or zero treasury bond. Why we have to use a zero coupon rate bond? This is because to avoid some other risks like the investment rate. We'll talk about this later. Okay. So ideally, in order to estimate or construct the yield curve, we prefer to use the zero coupon government bond. This is just show the graph. Some students may wonder why the graph is not look nice. Of course, because we use the actual data to plot this. The last lecture we try to come up with, given that the actual data, it's just a discrete like this, how to construct the nice or smooth yield curve. Last lecture we talked about some functional form of to construct the yield curve, given that some actual data point like this. But this one actually it did not try to smooth the curve. Okay, so it would be something like not smooth. This is a yield curve for the government rate. However, in Thailand, because of the number of the bond issued by the corporation for different ratings quite limited. So sometimes it's hard to construct the corporate yield curve. You can guess, right, that the corporate yield curve would be above or below this yield curve of the government. Above, right, because of corporate yield curve should provide return higher than the government bond. So given the same time to maturity, so the corporate yield curve should be above this, right? So because of the limited information, so what the Thai BMA or Thai Bond Market Association they do basically they just group the data into different maturity. Okay, short-term one from less than 1 year, from 3 to 5, greater than 5 years. And here's the spread, average spread. Okay, the add-on return from the government. The add-on return from the government. So for the AAA corporate bond, the spread is 26 basis point. We have discussed last week that 100 basis point is equal to 1%, right? 100 BP or basis point equal to 1%. So in this case, if let me use this one. Suppose 5 year, this government bond, its yield is around 2.1%. So AAA bond with the maturity around 3 to 5 years, the required rate of return will be 50 basis point or 0.5% above this, right? So AAA bond would provide a yield about 50 basis point more than the government bond. Okay, and you can see that for the BBB bond provide larger return, right? Much larger return comparing to A rating or AA rating. The second column here just provide the standard deviation among the yield in the group. And this is the average maturity in each group. You can see that on average 3 year the bond has the average about 1.25, this is 3.5, and this is about 7 years. Okay, now we going to price the bond, but by using the zero rate. As I mentioned, the zero rate is the curve or the rate estimated by the zero coupon bond. Okay, the zero coupon bond. How to obtain this, we'll talk about this later. Suppose that we can obtain this, how we can price the bond. So, you know, there are some different names that we may use it interchangeably. Zero coupon, zero rate or spot rate. Okay, this is the discount rate obtained from the zero coupon bond in different maturity. Okay. Suppose this bond, 3 year, okay, 3 year bond. Bond pay the coupon $5 5 baht every year. Suppose that we can obtain the spot rate for 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year equal to 2, 3, and 4%. Okay, instead of using just one single discount rate, you can see that we apply the discount rate for 1 year equal to 2%. Discount the first coupon that occur in year 1. And then the second coupon, we discount by 3% the spot rate. And the last coupon plus the face value, we discount by 4%, the 3-year spot rate. Okay? This can observe in another, you know, from the yield curve, from other information that have similar risks. Suppose they are government bond. Okay, so we can use this spot rate that obtained from the zero government bond in different maturity, and then use that spot rate to price this bond. So you get the bond price equal to this 102.96. So on average, the yield of this bond is equal to 3.935%. So, you know, in the past, if you plug in this discount rate into all these cash flow, you get the same price of the bond. So what we have done before, basically you use the average yield, okay, average yield or average return for that we apply for all cash flow in different maturity. However, ideally this one is is more appropriate because we consider the risk at the time of the cash flow, right? The cash flow that occur at year 1, we should use the discount rate that for 1 year investment. For $5 that occur in year 2, we should use the discount rate that for 2-year investment horizon, and this is for 3-year investment horizon. Investing in 1-year horizon and 2 years should not get the same return or discount rate. That's the idea why this one may be more appropriate. Anyway, basically in the market we just look at the average yield. We look at the average yield. This slide just provides the general formula for the zero for the spot rate valuation or zero rate valuation. Okay, now let's move on to discuss about the bond valuation that pay the floating rate, okay, coupon. What we have discussed so far, okay, in order to price the bond, we can, right now we supposed to be able to price the bond that pay the fixed coupon rate, right? What about the floating rate bond that pay floating rate? Suppose that in the primary market you buy the bond that pay floating rate. Suppose the reference rate is LIBOR or Thai baht fixed. Suppose that this bond, okay, pay the coupon rate equal to some reference rate, Thai baht fixed, plus 0.5%. If the market interest rate increase, how the price of this bond will change? Okay, suppose you buy the floating rate bond. 1 year later, suppose that the market interest rate increase. How does the price of this bond will change? How does the price of this bond change? Increase, decrease, unchanged? The answer is unchanged. So the rule that we have learned is applied for the fixed rate coupon bond. Why? You look at the coupon rate. What we have learned, price of the bond must adjust in order to compensate for the market rate, right? To adjust for the market rate change. When the market rate increase, but the bond pay the same fixed coupon rate, so bond price must decrease in order to compensate with the return in market that increase, because the fixed rate coupon is paid lower than the market rate. But for the floating rate, no. You can see that this bond pay the coupon on the market. When the market rate increase, this bond will pay the coupon that increase too. It adjusts based on reflect the market interest rate that move. So normally floating rate bond would trade around the par because the coupon would adjust itself, right? And the discount rate also adjusts in the same direction. So no effect of change on the market interest rate. You understand what I mean? If you look at the formula for the price for bond pricing, right? PV is equal to coupon divided by 1 plus the interest rate, right? And so on. So you can see that C, numerator, and R, they just move, because of the reference, it's just the same rate. in the that determine this, the same reference rate determine the C, the coupon, and the same reference rate for the discount rate. So they will move around par. Okay, except that the spread is changed over time. Then okay, there might be some change of the bond price. But if the spread just fixed at this level over time, then okay, there is no, the price of the bond will be close to par. Or if the bond has some restriction, then the bond may not move equal to par. Like if the bond has set some, some condition like the cap rate or the floor rate, then because of the numerator has some restriction that will not move 100% as the same as the reference rate, then bond price can be deviate from the par value. Other than this, bond price will be close to the par for the floating rate bond. Okay, now we will talk about how to price the inverse floater. Basically, we will talk about the fundamental idea how to construct the inverse floater. Okay, you still remember inverse floater is a bond that pay the interest or the coupon based on some fixed interest rate minus the floating rate. Right. Let me use the exhibit or the diagram, this diagram, to explain how to construct the inverse floater. In order to construct the inverse floater, dealer or the trader must buy the fixed rate coupon bond first, and this is called collateral. Okay, suppose I just give you some numerical example. Suppose that the trader buy 100 million, okay, and this bond pay the interest 5% coupon rate. Okay, the trader buy this bond as a collateral. So every year, this bond will pay the interest, the coupon, right, at 5%. With the size of investment equal to 100 million, the par, right? Now, based on this investment, the trader can construct two securities under this investment. They can issue the floating rate bond and the inverse floating rate bond or inverse floater with the same amount. Okay. Suppose that based on this collateral, trader issue 50 million floating rate bond or floater that pay floating, right? LIBOR plus 1%. And the size of issue is 50 million, suppose. And another 50 million for the inverse floater. And this inverse floater will pay the coupon equal to 9% minus LIBOR. Why the number must be like this? I'll show you. The idea to construct these two fixed income security is that the total cash outflow from issue these two bonds, you have to pay the money, right? Must be lower or equal to the cash flow received from the collateral. Cannot be greater than. Okay, that's why I issue this 50 million and this 50 million. Okay, to make sure that the size is not greater than 100 million of the collateral. You receive the coupon from the fixed rate bond, and then you borrow the money or issue floating rate bond and inverse floating rate bond. So you have to pay the investor who buy the floater and investor to pay the inverse floater. Now look at the coupon that you have to pay for each period. You receive 5% coupon, right, from the fixed rate, and then you have to pay 50 million, which is equal to 0.5 rate, right? 50 million over 100 is 0.5 multiplied by the rate is LIBOR plus 1% plus 0.5 inverse floater 9% minus LIBOR. This 0.5 comes from 50 million out of 100 million, right? The average cost that you have to pay for the investor who buy this floater, inverse floater and the floater. So you can see that this is 0.5 LIBOR, 0.5, sorry, 0.5 LIBOR plus 0.5% plus 0.5, sorry, 0.5 multiplied by 9, so it's 4.5 minus 0.5 LIBOR. You can see this will be cancelled out, and this is 0.5, 4.5, so it's 5%. By this construction, you see that, okay, in this case, a trader doesn't get any profit. However, if the trader want to get some profit, then they may have to reduce the the cost or the interest a bit lower than they receive 5% over there. But this by this construction, you can see that the total cash inflow will be the total cash outflow, no matter the LIBOR increase or decrease, right? Because you can see that when the LIBOR increase, okay, you pay more for this bond, but you pay less for this one, right? When the LIBOR increase. But when the LIBOR decrease, you pay more for this one, you pay less for this one. Even in total, you pay not more than 5%. Okay? And also we can write the value of this fixed rate bond equal to the value of the floating rate bond plus the value of inverse floater. Okay, the value of bond, the value of the bond price, fixed rate is equal to this one plus this one, right? When the market interest rate decrease, collateral, the fixed rate bond decrease. However, this one does not increase, so this one will be decreased, right? This one decrease when the market interest rate decrease. But this one, as we have discussed, right? This one will be adjusted equal to par. So to make the value change equal between the fixed rate and the inverse floater, this one must change more, right? Okay, last topic for today. I got only 10 minutes left. The current yield, okay, we have some definition of the yield. Yield, as I mentioned, this is represent the return. Normally we use for investing in the bond or fixed income security. Current yield, yield to maturity, yield to call, yield to put, yield for portfolio. Let's start from the first one. Current yield. Current yield is the return by just ignore this measure of return is ignore the effect of the time value of the money. To estimate the current yield, we just simply combine the total dollar of the coupon received in each year divided by the bond price. That's all. So we ignore the interest compounding, anything that may occur between the first half of the year, the second half of the year. If we receive the first coupon and reinvest or put in the bank, no. For the current yield, ignore all these things. We just simply add the first coupon payment that you receive in the first half of the year and then the second half of the year. In case of bond pay the coupon every 6 months. So just add on the total dollar you receive in each year divided by bond price. That's all. Okay. And as I mentioned last week, that if the if the bond price is equal to the par, so current yield is going to be equal to the yield to maturity. However, if the bond price trade higher or lower than par, then current yield and the yield to maturity may not be the same. Yield to maturity, okay, yield to maturity in the bond market, okay, actually these two parameters or these two variable, bond price and yield to maturity, given that you know one, you can estimate the other. And normally in the bond market, we look at these two, bond price and the yield, okay, bond price and the yield. So in the previous, previously we try to come up with the bond price given that we put in the required rate of return, right? The required rate of return that we use as a discount rate basically is the yield to maturity. Just the same. I mean, it is the yield to maturity. If you remember when we price the bond, right, we have to put the discount rate. The discount rate that we put in is the yield to maturity. Okay, all of this is the yield to maturity. R actually is the yield to maturity. So suppose that instead of given or assume yield to maturity, you observe the bond price. You observe the bond price instead. Then you can estimate R, right, based on the bond valuation formula. If you put in the price, you can estimate R. However, if you solve R by hand, it may be hard because you have to deal with the polynomial function. As you can see, the cash flow that occur at time 5, you divide by 1 plus R, take to the power of 5. So solve this kind of equation is hard. Okay? And how we can solve this, I will show you. I provide the approximate formula for you to solve for the yield to maturity. Actually, yield to maturity and IRR, okay, just the same thing. But we use a different word because of one is applied for the bond investment. This one is for the business investment. That's all. The concept just exactly the same. It's just the source of the cash outflow, the cash inflow is just different. However, the idea, the number is just the same thing, right? Yield to maturity we use when we want to know the return from invest in the bond, fixed income. IRR is the return if we invest in the project. Okay, suppose we buy the land, build a factory, and then generate the cash inflow of the project. What is the return from this project? This is called IRR. However, in the bond, we use another term, yield to maturity, but exactly the same thing. It's just a discount rate that makes the cash inflow equal to the cash outflow. The investment equal to the cash, the return. That's all. Okay, and also for the assumption, this also the same as IRR, no reinvestment rate risk. If you still remember IRR, when you get the solution for IRR, like IRR equal to 50%, there is the implicit assumption about the reinvestment rate, right? That in order to get the actual return equal to the IRR, when you get the cash flow, you have to reinvest and reinvest at the rate equal to the IRR. If you cannot reinvest the cash flow at the rate equal to the IRR, the actual return will not be equal to IRR. Not sure you can follow what I'm saying here. Okay, let me use the yield to maturity. Also the same thing, but the yield to maturity also has this assumption too. Suppose, okay, bond, you pay 1,000, and then this bond gives you the coupon 100 baht or $100, and then year 2 pay another coupon plus the face value. You can solve for I, right? In this case, because the bond price that we pay equal to the par, So I is equal to 10%. This 10% is the yield to maturity. So this is a return, but actually we get 10% return. It depends on this 100 that you receive in year 1. How do you do with this money 100? If you just keep in the wallet, then your actual return is not equal to 10%. It's going to be lower than 10%. In order to get 10% return average per year, this 100 baht you receive in year 1, you have to reinvest with the return equal to 10%. Okay? And then the return will be, actual return that you get is going to be equal to the yield to maturity. If you reinvest this at a lower rate, your actual return is lower than 10. If you can reinvest this at a higher rate than 10, your actual return is higher than 10. Depends on the whether how you do with this money. So this is the point number 3. Okay, whether there is the reinvestment rate risk that you can reinvest at different rate or not. Okay. In order to get the return equal to the yield to maturity, there is also another assumption. You have to hold the bond until maturity, because at maturity you get the principal back. However, if you do not hold the bond until maturity, you have to assume about the selling price of the bond that will not equal to the yield to maturity. Okay, because the bond price that you sell before the maturity may be higher or lower than the par. Okay. No default risk, of course. If there is a no default risk, you don't get the principal, the par value back, right? Compute yield to maturity. Okay, let me finish the yield to maturity for today. If the bond pay the coupon once a year, so you come up with the yield to maturity per year. However, if the bond pay the coupon every 6 months, suppose, then the yield that you compute is the yield per 6 months. If you come up with the annualized yield, so there are 2 ways that you can do. You can do the simple annual yield by just multiply number of the period that the bond pay the coupon in each year. So in case of the bond pay the coupon every 6 months, so once you compute the yield, it's the yield per 6 months. So you can simply multiply by 2 to get the annual yield of maturity. However, if you want to get effective annual yield, so you have to apply the effective annual rate equation. Okay, it's just 1 plus the yield per the period. Take to the power of m number of times per year that they pay the coupon, and then minus 1. Okay, so this is the effective annual yield. Basically, just incorporate the compounding effect. For the first one, they ignore the compounding. Okay, here is the example how to estimate the yield to maturity. Okay, 5% coupon rate that pay every year. This bond has 4-year maturity. Okay, and the current price is 105. Okay, this is current bond price you can observe in the market, suppose. So, because this bond pay the coupon $5 every year, and the principal, the par 100. So, you have to solve R. As I said, this is not easy to solve by hand. Okay, so you have to use a financial calculator, or you can use this approximate yield to maturity formula. The face value 100 minus bond price 105, n number of the period 4, plus the dollar coupon 5, and divide by the average between bond price and the face value. Okay, the average. So you get the approximate yield to maturity. Okay, you get the approximate yield to maturity. Here is the result from the financial calculator, 3.63%. You can use the financial calculator by just put in the known variable. Okay, the bond price 105 minus 5 positive cash inflow, 100 the positive cash inflow, n number of the period, and then solve for I, which is the yield to maturity. This is already per year because this bond pay every month, every year. So this is a 3.63% per year yield to maturity. Okay. Okay, let's stop at this slide and then let's continue tomorrow. Okay, morning.